Have you ever wondered how a small city-state on the Italian peninsula rose to become one of the most powerful empires the world has ever known? The story begins with a tale as old as time itself. Legend has it that Rome was founded by two brothers, Romulus and Remus, sons of the war god Mars, and descendants of the Trojan hero, Aeneas. Abandoned and left to die, they were saved by a she-wolf who nurtured them, and they grew up to found a city on the very spot where they were discovered. This city, Rome, would become the centerpiece of a tale of ambition, power, and conquest that would span the ages. In its early years, Rome was a republic, a government where power was shared among its citizens. This was a time of growth and exploration, a time where Rome spread its influence across the Italian peninsula through a mix of alliances, diplomacy, and when necessary, military might. But as Rome grew, so did its ambitions, and the republic was not equipped to handle the pressures of an expanding empire. Enter Julius Caesar, a man of great ambition and even greater abilities. Born into a patrician family, he climbed the ranks of Roman society through a combination of military prowess and political savvy. His conquest of Gaul extended Rome's territories to the English Channel and the Rhine, and brought him immense wealth and popularity among the Roman populace. But his ambition didn't stop there. In a move that would forever change the course of history, Caesar crossed the Rubicon, a river in northern Italy, in 49 BC. This was an act of war against the Roman Senate, a bold and decisive move that marked the end of the Roman Republic and the dawn of an empire. Caesar's crossing of the Rubicon is still remembered today as a point of no return, a moment where a decision was made that would change the world forever. With Julius Caesar, we see the birth of an empire, but this was only the beginning. The Roman Empire didn't reach its pinnacle overnight, so how did it achieve its golden age? The answer lies in a period known as the era of the Five Good Emperors. This was a time when Rome was led by a succession of leaders who were not only capable, but also virtuous. From Nerva to Trajan, Hadrian, Antoninus Pius, and finally Marcus Aurelius, each emperor brought something unique to the empire, steering it towards its zenith. Under their reign, the Roman Empire saw an unprecedented period of peace and prosperity, a time known as the Pax Romana. For over 200 years, wars were few and far between, allowing Rome to focus on internal growth and development. This peace was not just within the borders of the empire, but it extended to the farthest reaches of Roman control, from the British Isles to the sandy dunes of North Africa. The era of the Five Good Emperors also marked a significant period of expansion. The empire's territories grew, making Rome the most extensive political and social structure in Western civilization. Under Trajan, the empire reached its maximum geographical extent, stretching from the Atlantic Ocean to the Arabian Sea. But it wasn't just about territorial expansion. The Five Good Emperors also focused on the empire's infrastructure, building roads, bridges, and aqueducts that connected every corner of the empire. They also encouraged arts and philosophy, fostering a cultural boom that still influences us today. The empire was at its most prosperous during this time. Trade flourished and the standard of living rose. The Roman denarius, the empire's currency, was recognized and valued throughout the known world. People from diverse cultures and backgrounds lived together in relative harmony, sharing in the wealth and benefits of Roman civilization. The Golden Age of the Roman Empire was a period of peace, prosperity, and progress. It was a time when Rome was at its best, a beacon of civilization in a world that was often chaotic and unpredictable. The Golden Age indeed, but as we know, nothing lasts forever. What causes an empire to falter, to lose its grip? Just as the human body succumbs to ailments, so too did the Roman Empire begin to suffer from a series of internal issues, each chipping away at the foundation of its grandeur. Political corruption was one such malady. Power, as it tends to do, seduced the noblest of men, turning them into puppeteers pulling the strings of the state for their own gain. The Senate, once the beacon of Roman democracy, became a stage for political theatrics, where the elite battled for control, often to the detriment of the common citizens. Then came the economic instability. The empire's expansion, while bringing in new territories and wealth, also brought with it a hefty price tag. Maintaining the sprawling empire the legions needed for its defense, and the luxuries demanded by the Roman lifestyle proved to be a burden too heavy for the empire's coffers. The economy started to wobble, and the once mighty Roman denarius began to lose its luster. And let's not forget the increasing threat of barbarian invasions. The Romans, in their arrogance, had always seen themselves as the superior civilization, dismissing the so-called barbarians as primitive and unworthy. But while Rome was busy wrestling with its internal issues, these barbarians were growing in strength and ambition. The Roman frontiers, once impregnable, started to seem less so. The distant drumbeats of war began to echo ominously in the corridors of power. Each of these issues, on their own, might have been manageable, but together, they began to form cracks in the mighty edifice of the Roman Empire. Cracks that would soon widen into chasms, threatening to swallow the empire whole. The empire was beginning to crumble from within, a situation ripe for external threats. As the sun set on Rome, the shadows of its problems lengthened, hinting at the dark times that lay ahead. Barbarians at the gates, a phrase that has come to symbolize the downfall of the Roman Empire. But who were these so-called barbarians? The term barbarian was used by the Romans to describe people outside the empire who didn't share their culture or language. They were not a single group but a collection of different tribes, each with its own unique customs, traditions, and warfare tactics. Among the most significant of these were the Visigoths, the Ostrogoths, the Vandals, and the Huns. The Visigoths, originally from Eastern Europe, were pushed into Roman territory by the advancing Huns. The Ostrogoths, Vandals, and other tribes followed suit, driven by both the Huns' aggression and the allure of Rome's wealth. As these tribes began to encroach on Roman territory, the empire found itself stretched thin, unable to maintain control over its vast lands. The Romans, once the conquerors, now found themselves on the defensive. Despite their attempts to hold the line, the empire was losing ground. The real turning point came in the year 410. Alaric, the king of the Visigoths, led his tribe to the city of Rome itself. After a brief siege, the unthinkable happened. Rome, the eternal city, was sacked. For the first time in nearly 800 years, the city fell to a foreign enemy. The streets that once echoed with the march of Roman legions were now filled with Visigoths. The city's grandeur was stripped away as the Visigoths plundered its wealth. The sack of Rome sent shockwaves throughout the empire. If Rome, the heart of the empire, could fall, what chance did the rest of the empire stand? The event was a clear signal. The empire was not invincible. It was a mortal entity that could be wounded, that could bleed, and ultimately, that could die. The sack of Rome marked the beginning of the end for the once mighty empire. The final blow for the Roman Empire came not with a bang, but with a whimper. The mighty empire, once a beacon of power and prosperity, found itself wallowing in the depths of despair during its final years. The Western Roman Empire in particular was on the brink of collapse. To fully grasp the gravity of the situation, we need to journey back to the 5th century AD. Romulus Augustus, the last Roman emperor of the West, sat on a throne that was more symbolic than powerful. The empire had been beset by a series of invasions, political corruption, and economic instability. These issues, coupled with a declining population due to plague and war, created a perfect storm for the empire's downfall. The young emperor Romulus Augustus was merely a puppet with real power being held by his father, the general Orestes. However, even Orestes could not halt the decline. A year into Romulus's reign, the Germanic king Odoacer led a revolt, deposing Orestes and forcing Romulus to abdicate. The Roman Empire may have fallen, but its legacy lives on. How does this ancient civilization continue to influence us today? As we delve into this thought, it's fascinating to realize the depth of Rome's influence, which continues to shape our world centuries after its fall. Let's start with language. Latin, the language of the Romans, is the mother tongue of the Romance languages. Italian, Spanish, French, Portuguese, and Romanian. Even English, though not a Romance language, is heavily peppered with Latin words and phrases. Then there's law. The Roman legal system was incredibly advanced for its time, and many of its principles are still in use today. The concept of innocent until proven guilty, that's Roman. The idea that laws should be written and accessible to all, again, Roman. Even the structure of our courts with their judges and advocates echoes the Roman judiciary. The Romans were also master builders. Their architectural innovations like the use of concrete and the arch revolutionized construction. The Roman aqueducts, roads, and bridges, many of which are still standing, testify to their engineering prowess. Modern cities with their grid layouts and multi-story buildings owe a great deal to Roman urban planning. And let's not forget about the concept of citizenship. Romans pioneered the idea that citizens have certain rights and responsibilities, regardless of their birthplace or social status. This concept is central to modern democracies, underscoring the importance of citizens' participation in the political process. The Romans also left their mark on the arts, from literature and philosophy to sculpture and drama. Many of the themes and narratives explored in Roman works continue to resonate with us today, influencing modern storytelling in profound ways. So, the Roman Empire may no longer exist in the physical sense, but its spirit endures in the fabric of our societies. Its language, laws, architecture, and ideas continue to shape the world, testifying to the enduring power of Roman civilization. In the end, the Roman Empire wasn't just a historical period, it was a foundation that shaped the world as we know it. The rise and fall of the Roman Empire is a tale of power, ambition, and decline. And so, we've journeyed through the ebb and flow of one of history's most influential civilizations. Starting from the dawn of an empire, we witnessed the humble beginnings of Rome, a city-state that would grow to dominate the known world. The Golden Age, Rome's zenith, was a time of unmatched prosperity and expansion. In this era, the Romans made unparalleled advancements in architecture, art, and governance, leaving an indelible imprint on the fabric of human society. But nothing lasts forever. As we delved into "The Cracks Begin to Show," we saw how the seeds of decline were sown within the empire's very success. The pressures of maintaining such a vast expanse, coupled with internal strife and corruption, began to strain the seams of this once invincible entity. Then came the barbarians at the gates. External threats, once held at bay by Rome's might, began to close in. The relentless waves of invasions, coupled with the empire's internal weaknesses, were an onslaught that even Rome could not withstand. This led to the fall of an empire, a slow, tortuous decline that saw the once vibrant civilization crumble into the annals of history. Yet even in its fall, Rome left a legacy that continues to echo through the centuries. In The Legacy of Rome, we explored how the empire's influence extends far beyond its lifespan. From our modern legal systems to architectural marvels, the echoes of Rome can still be heard today, reminding us of its former glory. As we look back at the Roman Empire, we find a mirror reflecting our own times, reminding us that even the greatest empires can fall, but their legacies can endure. A testament to human ambition, the Roman Empire stands as a beacon of what we can achieve, and a cautionary tale of the fleeting nature of power.